Forget about Cinderella. Gonzaga once again has proven they are legit.
On this pod, we pride ourselves on asking the hard-hitting journalistic questions, the ones others are afraid to ask. So given the illness ripping through the Gonzaga basketball program, and given it seems to have started with Mario Saint-Superi, it's past time someone make an inquiry into the real issue here. Does Gonzaga have the Spanish flu? This is Free Ira Brown.
Set. Fire! Yo! Get three! Oh!
Opponents down the lane. Shot block turned off. Calvary. Hall 8 to shoot. Off the runner. Loose ball. It's good.
Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to Free Ira Brown, the Gonzaga Hoops podcast. Those stories plus. Gonzaga returns from winter break just in time for the second half against Seattle. Boomin' lose a tough one, and Santa Clara lose. But first, down in L.A., say hi to Adam.
You're fired.
I understand. Thank you for the literally hundreds of opportunities you've given me. Goodbye, everyone.
In Seattle, it's Marty.
Well, all right, look at this. Sometimes you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
You gotta crack a couple eggs?
Yeah, you gotta crack an
Is
egg.
that your new flick? So you're throwing down life lessons now?
I'm throwing down eggs.
Class is in session. The teacher's teaching class now.
I'm cracking eggs of wisdom.
Yes, indeed.
It's so good. And in Portland,
Cracking
I'm
eggs of
Chris.
wisdom. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, pardon your worship, but I've got 2 men at home sick with the flu, and it's utter chaos down here.
That was perfect for Adam.
Gentlemen, we lost Adam already. Gentlemen, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you not to have to watch the Seahawks this weekend?
Heck yeah. Bye, baby. Baby, bye, 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 bye.
Bye, bye, bye. Must
Yeah.
be nice.
And Charles Cross signed a deal. It's all good.
Yeah,
in
I saw
Seahawks
that.
land. Let's go. Everyone's going to be healthy. Let's go.
Yes, as long as Sam Darnold.
That was a
Turns the ball
beatdown
over
on
less than
last
2
week.
times.
It was
Sorry,
like
Stephen
a 13-3 game. I'm not sorry. That felt like a 26-3 game.
Yeah, that game was wild. I haven't looked
And-
at. We're not going to go through stats of that football game, but like the time of possession was absolutely unreal.
It was 38-22 roughly,
Yeah,
and it was the lowest amount of yards that Shanahan Niner team has ever had in their history. 173.
Wow.
I mean, it was funny because
I've heard all the stats.
The offense did not score. They could not score, but boy, could they hold on to the ball for a long time.
No, they
Which
just
is
kind of
almost as good, I guess.
they were really efficient until they got into scoring territory. Then they couldn't.
They kind of play with their fruit a little bit.
totally.
Didn't bite them.
They got the kicker was terrible, and the horrible play
So
first
weird.
and
The
goal from
kicker's
the one,
usually
and then
so
like
good.
Darnold doesn't even see a wide open.
That
He's right there throwing the ball.
That was very weird.
That was 7 points missed, and then so they left 13 points just on the field untouched. Anyway, though, but the defense is awesome. I love Nick Emenwari. He's my favorite.
Yeah, great.
He's very
stuff.
good.
Go Hawks.
He's just a rookie, yeah?
Yeah, rookie.
That's
You know
pretty
what?
good.
He missed the first 5 games of the year with an high ankle.
Those are the worst.
He back.
I have a high
You
ankle
good?
too. It's
I got
not
a low
great,
ankle.
though.
I got 2.
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
More
God,
with a bad high ankle is better than my good 2 high ankle.
Chris,
Anyway,
I want to apologize to you.
we're really going to do this.
I really didn't mean to, but I ruined Chris's day yesterday by a video of the Giants wild card playoff loss to the 49ers. Now, Stephen Carr will definitely remember this. Back in 2003.
What was he, like 8? He doesn't remember this.
He'll remember it because he's a Niner junkie. Of a crazy 24-point comeback by the Niners in the wild card that ended on.
That's not okay. You know what? Fine. If we're going to do this, no, stop. Shut up. We're going to tell this damn story.
I didn't mean to ruin your day. I just thought it was funny. I thought it would be ancient history, and apparently Chris is so upset about it.
No. Here's why. This is perhaps the drunkest and angriest I've ever been in my life.
And noteworthy, folks, Chris has been very drunk and very angry on many occasions in his life.
Often at the same
Usually
time.
just appears
Actually, that's
drunk
not true.
and angry at all times. That's like base level.
Yeah.
It's actually not true. I'm usually a pretty gregarious drunk, but not that night. All right. So 2002 Giants, pretty meh. But 7-2 to finish out the season and won their last 4. Kerry Collins. Remember Kerry Collins? He was really good for the Giants for a little while. Penn State, indeed. Threw for over 4,000 yards that year, led the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks and game-winning drives. All fun things. They had one issue, minor, small issue all season. They couldn't kick. They had a lot of issues with the long snapping, and it ended up becoming an issue on extra points and field goals, blah, blah, blah. So they hired an expert long snapper named Trey Junkin to come out of retirement. He had been retired basically all year. Was he? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
To resolve their long snapping issues. Okay, wild card. NFC West. Champion winners hosting the Giants. This is the Sunday at the end of Christmas break. So myself, my roommate, maybe one other one, but he wasn't there at the time. Myself, my roommate, our friend Ellen at our house, and our roommate's girlfriend were there. The 4 of us were watching this game. Slow start. Giants scored at the end of the first quarter to make it 7-7. Rattled off 21 points in the second quarter. They're up 28-14. Now, I was back in Spokane watching this game, as I mentioned. My dad was living in California at the time, calls me at halftime, and we were, of course, excited. We had caught fire. Collins already had 4 TD passes, 3 different ones to Amani Toomer. We were excited. We did the cliche thing. Stay aggressive. Keep your foot on the pedal, blah, 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 blah. Giants come out of halftime. Score. 35-14. Next possession. Field goal. 38-14. Things were going great. And then they weren't.
Got it.
Jeff Garcia, Terrell Owens, the Niners scored 18 points in a row. Okay. Still time. Giants to sort themselves out, which they did. Got a drive going, got it to the 25, and on a 4th and 1, which probably wouldn't happen nowadays given the 3 minutes left in the game and up a possession already, but they decided to kick the field goal. The snap was bad. Holder never had it. Matt Bryant, Giants kicker, misses. Okay. Garcia and the Niners drive down and score with exactly a minute left. 25 points in 15 minutes. The Niners have a 39-38 lead, but there is still a minute left. The Giants had an awesome offense. Okay. We got this. They drive down. They do. They get it to the Niners 43. It is roughly a 40-yard field goal. The snap was low and outside, and punter holder Matt Allen picked it up, rolled right, bought time, and heaved a pass down to the 3-yard line in the direction of a Giants lineman named Rich Seubert, who was tackled before the ball ever got to him, which is the clip that Marty
innocently
so lovingly sent to me. Clear pass interference. Flag. Giants going to get another shot for a 10, 11-yard field goal. They're going to have this. Except they didn't, because Seubert, normally a guard, was deemed an ineligible man downfield. So offsetting penalties, right? You still get one more shot. So penalties offset on each team. You redo the down. Nope. When a lineman isn't deemed ineligible, he does not qualify for pass interference because he is not a valid receiver. So there was no pass interference on the play.
Terrible.
Picked up the only flag that counted was the ineligible man. Game over. But here's the thing. Seubert reported eligible. He went to the referees, reported eligible. He was an eligible receiver. The officials did screw it up. There should only have been one flag. It should only have been pass interference. The NFL sends a letter of acknowledgement or apology to the Giants a day or two later, but of course you can't reverse the result, so the Giants lose anyway. Needless to say, the way the Giants collapsed, I was fairly enraged, as you sometimes maybe hear me get here, probably the angriest I've ever been. My dad called my cell phone. I did not answer. Called it multiple times. I did not answer. He called our house phone. I did not answer.
Check.
Finally, Ellen, our dear friend, goes and answers the phone, says hello, hands me the phone. I sat in silence saying absolutely nothing. I swear to you, it was like 5 straight minutes.
Why did your dad call you?
I finally go, he didn't say anything either.
Know you.
He said nothing either. Both of us sat in dead silence for 5 minutes. Finally, I go, what? In what I'm assuming was not a very congenial tone. And my dad says, I'm never talking to you at halftime again. And I said, you better fucking not. And I hung up and I threw the phone across the room. I stormed into my room where my what'd you?
I think I threw that phone a time or two too.
Yeah, you may have.
Yeah.
My little sister, who was, 12 or 13 at the time, kept calling and calling. And I finally was, Katie, not now. And she goes, fine. And she slams down her phone. So through all of this, our roommate, his girlfriend, our friend Ellen, more or less say nothing. Or at least if they said anything, I genuinely don't remember a single word
just
that
head
was
to
said.
the bulldog.
Until my roommate's girlfriend, looking at me with what I would call a mix of confusion, disbelief, shock, and complete and utter revulsion, said the single worst thing you can say in this situation. And Adam, when we were texting about this, you nailed it. It's just a game.
Oh my God.
My God. My God. If looks could kill, her entire family tree would have been obliterated like I was Thanos doing the snap.
You would have eliminated all of her family everywhere.
All of her family, anyone who lived near her, anyone who was a classmate, like they would just
from history.
gone.
Period.
Gone.
Yeah.
If looks could kill.
But fortunately, they can't.
I can't believe that's
The
so
ripe
funny.
old age of 21, I got what I still believe is to be the drunkest I've ever been. We watched 2 movies that night, Barbershop and Ballistic X versus Sever, if you remember those.
Good Lord.
I
No,
don't.
I don't remember.
I don't remember
the
a single
Ballistic
thing
X
about
versus
evil.
Sever.
That's like Lucy Liu and Antonio Banderas or whatever. Supposedly it was absolutely awful. I've never actually gone back and watched either. I remember nothing from either of those movies that entire evening. I apparently fell asleep on a pillow, I think on the couch in Ellen's lap, just zonked, just completely went away. At some point I ended up in my bed. I don't even know. It was a way to welcome me back to the second semester. So thank you, Marty, for bringing that up and sending that to me out of the blue. Just, oh, do you remember this? I bet Chris remembers. Yeah, yes, I remember that, Marty.
I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I really thought it would
Which
just be
is
like a.
the type of story that our Patreons love, such as our new Patreon, Anne-Marie Chabelli. Thank you very much, Anne-Marie, who unfortunately has to be preceded by that individual horror story for me. But I did get a chance to talk to Anne-Marie, and it turns out Anne-Marie is a huge Bill and Ted Adventure fan. She loves all 3 of the movies, Excellent Adventures, Bogus Journey, Face of Music. She has a fairly sizable collection of memorabilia from all 3 movies, which is wonderful for her. She apparently has separated among stars, Alex Winter, Keanu Reeves, as well as co-star scripts, anything she can get her hands on. It apparently has often, as she has said, induced cries of wonder among her friends who visit her collection because it's really cool. The one section she said gives her the most enjoyment is her Bill collection. It calms her down, she says, when she's agitated, helps her take her mind off things when taking her mind off things is needed, such as certain football games. So when she gets stressed, anxious, etc., she heads over to a garage and takes a stroll, walking through her winter wonderland. If you would like to be Alex Winter is the co-star. Come on, Adam, get with it. If you would like to join Patreon,
You lost me on that one.
/ free Ira Brown, somebody do the damn news so I can shut up.
I report the news. That's what I do. And today's top story read something like this.
Okay. Gonzaga drops to 8th in both major polls, still number 2 in the West region, though, according to Lenardi. Notre Dame coach Micah Shrewsbury violently charged an official after his Irish lost to the Cal Bears on January 2nd. The ACC has publicly reprimanded the Notre Dame coach for trying to start the first Battle of Shrewsbury since 1403. That's a joke for medieval warfare fans. Notable results on the hardwood. Duke eked out a close one at Florida State. Houston did the same at Cincinnati. So GU isn't the only top team with unimpressive performances. Also, Nebraska beat Ohio State to get to 15-0. They're ranked 10th in the country, by the way. Who?
What?
Nebraska Cornhuskers. Yeah.
What?
That's a true thing I just said. Look it up in a book. And then Tuesday night, Michigan survived a major upset scare and beat Penn State 74-72 when Penn State missed a 3 at the buzzer. So maybe Michigan is beatable? No, probably not. Finally, the portal story that everyone's talking about. Husky quarterback football, DeMond Williams, signed with the school on January 2nd. And then just announced on Tuesday that he's hitting the old transfer portal. I legitimately feel really actually sorry for any Husky fan who still cares about college football or cares about the football team at this point, or any college football fans for that matter, unless your team's one of the money bag teams, because the whole entire thing is an absurd joke. Anyway, now the school is going to threaten, they're not going to let him out of the contract. They're going to claim tampering because LSU is the school that is speculated to have been tampering. It's a whole mess. And just a reminder of how screwed up this whole thing is. With no rules. Kids just he signed a freaking contract.
But he's an amateur. Anyway, yeah, college football is stupid. Don't watch it. I don't.
It's so dumb.
And what sucks too this year, and I don't even like college football, but you have a legitimately awesome story in Indiana.
Yeah.
Who might well be the favorite, and it's actually a
Yeah.
legit honest to God, good story, and
The
gonna get
all-time
overshadowed by Michigan.
losingest team in NCAA major conference history until this year, because now the last 2 years they can't lose anymore. But until 2 years ago, the losingest. No team lost more than Indiana. It's a great story.
They're like the
Kurt
Pepperdine.
Singieti, whatever the coach's name is. It's a great story.
Did
And then he
you,
signed a huge contract to stay with them instead of jumping to another team, which is also great.
Did you catch any of the 1AA final yesterday?
Oh, the Montana State.
Yeah, that was
Illinois
legitimately
State?
exciting. They went into
I saw
overtime.
highlights.
Illinois State scored. The PAT got blocked, and then I turned it on, or I happened to come in after my soccer game and saw only overtime, which was the perfect amount to see. But apparently got to 4th and 10. Not apparently, it got to 4th and 10, and they hit a kind of a corner route for a touchdown, made the extra point, and won in overtime by 1. It was pretty exciting, pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Anyway, speaking of exciting, things weren't supposed to be so exciting, but things got pretty exciting over the weekend a little bit for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Yeah, 2 wins, just as we all drew it up and just as we all assumed. Blowout wins entirely. I mean, there was a combined it was like a combined 50 points in the win? Just normal. A couple of normal 25-point wins.
Holy crap, dudes.
Yeah.
Well,
let's jump in.
Weakiest bum.
Yeah.
I did think they were going to lose that game. I did
I did too.
I lost the faith. And they're down 13.
I had Marty updating me via text all game because I was not able to watch until about the last 6-7 minutes, which is right when Gonzaga pulled their head out. So you're welcome, everybody, is what I'm saying. Anyway, let's jump into it. Adam, what is your headline from the weekend? Your one
headline
big thing.
is ups and downs. Ups and downs. That's the headline. And then the story underneath talks about how the defense was great and then not so great. And then like really, really good. And then how the 3-point shooting was like pretty bad and then really good. It's just like the thing I wrote down, the comment I wanted to make was, I can't recall a more consistent team that had so many individual players who were so inconsistent.
I like that.
It's like the team is consistently like the floor is very high and the ceiling's really high. But boy, do you know there? I mean, it could come from like 1 through. I mean, obviously Ike and Braden Huff especially is giving you like pretty consistent numbers. But everybody else, like, who knows? Someone's gonna step up. They always do, but I don't know who it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting. I really like that phrasing. It's an interesting dynamic to have a team that, generally speaking, is fairly consistent, but you just don't know where it's going to come from, which I guess makes it hard to plan for.
One could hope.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. In this game, our 4th player didn't even score until the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was pretty weird.
Well into the second half.
Seattle's defense,
deep bench.
We're going to ask more headline questions. I don't know if you want me to talk about it.
We'll come to Seattle's defense. Mar, what was your headline?
Oh, it was like yawning through the start of conference play, and specifically the start of the games, like the first half of the first half. It's terrible in both games. Seattle U just looked like they had, I swear, they had 6 guys on the floor when they were playing on defense. It was amazing how their rotations and theirs all over our guys, and we just weren't moving. Like, there's double teaming Huff or Ike, whoever has the ball. Someone's got to move and get open instead of standing like their feet are in cement. So they're just like, they get punched in the mouth the first 10 minutes in that game. And then against LMU, they're behind the first 10 minutes, how sluggish and cruddy their offense looked in the first 10 minutes of that game. They're behind, what was the score?
14-4.
14-4.
Yeah, and then, so that was my, of course, everyone knows they figured it out and took them, they figured it out a lot quicker than they did against Seattle.
They figured it out a lot.
Which was nice.
Yeah,
which was
they
nice.
really figured it out. When they figured it out,
man,
they really did.
But yeah, 14-4. Like what the hell?
This game was so absurd. The LMU game.
Some of the numbers.
Yeah. Do you want to go with some of the numbers? Go through the numbers. We'll talk about the LMU game first because that was hilarious.
Get the clamps button working ready.
Yeah. Go. Well, I'll tell you what. Hold that because we'll touch on the defense. Let me do my headline. We'll dive into some numbers. My takeaway, my one big thing is more or less, no one's really going to care if we get healthy and the performances improve. And it's going to be a little fluke story that we had to survive Seattle U in their first attempt at the WCC at the King, and I don't think anyone's really going to remember this game all that much at the end, assuming it doesn't become these don't become recurring issues. The slow starts have been all season, but regardless of like that part notwithstanding, just having the team kind of get to where they're feeling better, and then, you know, if we kind of roll through the WCC, it's gonna be like every other year where there's like one or two random games, and maybe we'll talk about a double overtime game against Santa Clara about 15 years ago, things like that you can kind of, oh yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that game kind of thing. So that's my headline.
Was there a game?
Yeah,
what was the
that
game?
happens. That kind of. Go ahead.
Was a game? It was like, was it North Dakota or South Dakota? They took us to overtime.
North Dakota State was Gino Crandall.
Yeah, Gino Crandall. It was like an audition. It was like, hey, let's get that guy. Yeah,
yeah.
Like
he hit over 30.
Yeah, games like that. We're just like
that was the game after. I think was the one where he like benched half of his starting five or something. Like if I remember right, I think Rui didn't start or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
He was
ended
an
up being
Mr. Few.
Yes. That it was only the third time I think they said there's been a game in the kennel that went into overtime. Those two, and I've totally blanking on the third one. Was it Arizona? No, I can't remember.
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway.
Let's move on. Loyola Marymount.
These types of games happen. I mean, they happen to all good programs. I mean, just this
Michigan
week,
today.
Houston struggled. Michigan against Penn State. Duke almost lost to Georgia Tech at home. And Georgia Tech, they're at 122 in KenPom. That's like a middle of the road.
I mean, that's basically
WCC team.
Yeah,
and then they turned around and almost lost to Florida State this last weekend, and they're sub 100 team. Mm-hmm. So it happens to everyone. It's just that when you're Gonzaga, you have that stigma of playing in a terrible conference. I'm using air quotes, even though it's not a terrible conference. It's just not a great conference. And losing to Seattle at 108 is really not that bad. They're actually a pretty good team.
Yeah.
108 is respectable.
Definitely.
But there's a stigma when you're a Gonzaga fan. You're like, we cannot lose. We cannot lose. Everyone will say, see. So it feels like, oh man, it feels awful when they almost lose.
That game, I also wasn't able to watch that game live. We were like celebrating Christmas with my in-laws, but I turned it on because my sister, who doesn't text me a lot during games, texted me and just said WTF exclamation point. And I was like,
that's never good.
I was like, well, this can't be good. And I like checked on, I was like, oh man. And it was like midway through the second half and we were like down 13. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot. So like we finished up what we were doing. I was like, I gotta put the game on. So
that was probably right at the moment that Jun Suk-yo hit that prayer three.
Oh my God.
That put him
after
up,
that.
That put him back up 10 or 13. That shot was the most ridiculous moment of the game.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's funny when Marty said, we're going to lose. Like, we can't win. Because like we played such incredible defense. He had like a steal. Graham and like totally shut him down.
It was like, that was something straight out of a Wichita State Van Vliet.
Oh, cool. Any other games you want to remind me of, Mard?
It was the same exact feeling when that, except not in the tournament.
It
was like
they hit another game. They hit another shot.
EK and Huff afterward, somebody asked him about Yo, and they said they were super happy for him. They didn't like him in that moment. They both said like, yeah, I wasn't happy with him then.
But yeah, that game was wild. But you have to talk about the defense.
Hey, hit us with the zagging up.
Yeah, the zagging up. Well, no, I'm talking about Seattle U's defense. They like Marty mentioned it. They looked like there were 6 guys on the floor. Their rotations were sharp. They were quick. They put really excellent ball pressure on the Gonzaga. I didn't realize how effective they were going to be at perimeter defense. Like good 3-point shooting teams don't shoot well against that team. They are really good at limiting your looks. But they also were able to like switch quick enough to also collapse on the big guys. And when we weren't shooting well, it made it really hard. And I thought the game plan they had was really good, and they almost pulled it off.
They were getting 50-50 balls, and they were having weird shots go in.
Yeah, and like crazy lay-ins, like And
we were also missing. I mean, it was also it was a perfect storm of suck. Yeah. Like Steel Ventures had the worst game of his collegiate career, and things like point blank lay-in. Steel Ventures misses, like all sorts of, Tyon makes a great move to get inside.
Mario
doesn't finish, misses.
Mario's over 5 from the field.
Yeah, speaking of inconsistent
Mario
in the
had
last few games.
Yeah, and missed lay-ins, like layups missing. Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough one to watch, and I did go back and watch the whole thing, and I was like, well, thank goodness for Tyon Grant Foster,
But
who just took over.
The defense, our defense against Seattle U. I mean, the only shots they hit in the second half were like crazy difficult shots. We held them to 28 points in the entire second half, and allowed us to chip away at the lead, which was, I mean, without our defensive energy was good in the second half.
Agreed.
But
how confident were you how confident were you when it went to overtime? Because I was when that ball went to overtime,
confident.
I was like, oh, they got no chance.
Yeah, I knew there's no doubt in my mind that. But up until Braden Smith's clutch free throws,
Braden Smith, how about that?
I wasn't confident.
How about those?
Those free throws were pretty important.
Yeah, I hit them both.
The ensuing defensive possession from Gonzaga was excellent.
Also good. Yeah. Grant Foster blocked that guy on a 3. He
had 5 blocks in this game.
5 blocks.
He was incredible.
And like every one was a jump shot, not like at the rim. The dude was like Hakeem Warwick left and right, and he was and Seattle was starting to be afraid of him not taking open jump shots if he was close by. He was phenomenal. Tyon Grant Foster, and also scoring in the second half down the stretch. Tyon Grant Foster was like so dependable scoring. I mean, he was phenomenal in this game.
Yeah.
All right, well,
19 points. And
let's jump into
rebounds and 5 blocks.
A zagging up. Do you want to hit us off at?
I mean, the zagging up, I guess, is Tyon Grant Foster. Like we
it is.
just finished talking about him, so we'll just mention it here. But yeah, that's my zagging up.
It's 19. As Marty said, 19 points, 7 of 9 shooting, 4 of 5 from the line. And then against LMU early, like we said, 14-4, immediately just attacked the rim. And I think I put out on Twitter, like his goal apparently today is just to dunk on everyone. Because I think his first 3 or 4 shots were either dunks or lay-ins right at the rim. I think Theo Lawson, the spokesman reporter, just confirmed. And he's just as he was watching it. We talked a little bit about it between Oregon and then the Pepperdine's USD games, but he seems to have found the groove. He seems to have found a little bit of comfort again offensively. His foul shooting is still up and down, but his three-point shooting has been smarter, which has made it better and taking better versions of it. And honestly, I'd be pretty surprised if he didn't jump back into the starting lineup at this point.
Yeah, I would agree.
But what if he really wants that 6th Man of the Year award? He's going to have to stay out of it.
There you go. Well, it's going to be tough.
No, I agree with you. He's always in the close. He closes the game. So, and he's been. I mean, might as well open the game too. He's part of the best 5 that we have.
Yeah.
I have zagging up for.
Yeah, do it.
Ike. I thought Ike had a good couple of games. He like everyone did in the first half against Seattle. You struggled, but he's one of the only guys scoring 24 points in that game, and specifically in that game. The free throws down the stretch were incredibly important. He missed 3 free throws early, and I think he was coming off of that 1 for 5 free throw game. We were like, man, what is wrong with his free throws? But we really needed him to hit free throws down the stretch in that game, and he did. He was 8 of 11 in that game, and he had 10 rebounds.
He had all 4 in overtime, right?
Yeah. So he was great in that game, and then he turned around against LMU and had another solid game, just 6 of 8 from the floor. So he was efficient, or 6 of 8 from 2-point range. So he was efficient. 16 points and 7 boards and 3 assists. So he had a great couple of games, I thought.
Yeah, he was good.
Which was nice to see him bounce back after, that small matter of the technical and then not playing much against USD and then
Fogel starting
against Seattle. Well,
Fogel starting.
Fogel, as Adams.
Didn't start for long. He's only played 10 minutes, but he was there.
I'm not sure Adam was ever more excited of a thing this season when Fogel was starting. My zagging up. We talked a little bit about the defense. Let's talk a little bit more about it. Less than a point per possession against Seattle. It's weird to think we had a pretty good game against Seattle on one half of it because the offense wasn't great, but the defense was really, really good. Yeah. They couldn't rebound very well. That wasn't so good. But beyond that was a not good Seattle rebounding team. They kind of let own them on the boards, but less than a point per possession against Seattle. Held Seattle to 36% shooting and 14 turnovers against LMU. 0.68 points per possession. LMU shot 30% from the floor, 26% from three. Another 13 turnovers forced.
It's bad.
All the talk.
Button.
They talk after the game. They talked in some of the press conferences about the what they call kills. It's the 3 straight stops. And Miller had mentioned that he said he thought there was 13 in one point and 9 in another in a row. And Theo Lawson had it in his story specifically that LMU had an almost 9-minute run without a point in the first half and an over 8-minute run again in the second half without a point. So, yeah, I'd say they did okay.
Clamps, and if I want to fucking snip with these clamps, I will snip with these.
They were snipping. They were definitely snipping.
Clamps were on.
5
I think it was
points.
down 14-4.
Then went 78-33. I think it was the run after that.
There was a 35-5 run to close from then on.
Mm-hmm.
So 14-6, and then Gonzaga goes on a 35-5 run, and then they score a couple of buckets, and then there was a 21-0 run between like minute 15.
The rare double kill shot.
Yeah, double kill
Double
shot,
kill
15
shot.
and 9.
The end of the last 12 and a half minutes of the first half, LMU had 5 points and were 2 of 20 from the field.
That's like a
They
kill
had
shot when you like turn the gun sideways.
Yeah.
right. That's a double tap. 78.5 points. LMU, by my math, were averaging on the way in, or was averaging on the way into the game, and they scored 47. And that was, by the way, that was with LMU hitting its last 4 shots and 6 of its last 9 in elite garbage time. So, yeah, zagging up to the defense.
Yeah, let's
I got another zagging up.
Go for it.
It might be a little under the radar, but I thought Adam Miller deserves a zagging up. He only scored 2 points against Seattle, but he played a really important 23 minutes in that game with some clutch rebounds, couple of assists, and that insanely important charge that he took off of Florent Dan.
That was
with
huge.
like under a minute to go. It was a huge moment in that game. So that was great for Adam. And then in the LMU game, he just got a shot back, which he had been, since conference play had started, he had been really off. But he got 3 for 5 from beyond the arc in the LMU game, and it was great to see him get his shot back. So I thought Adam Miller, a little tip of the cap.
Fair enough. I like it. Adam, any others?
I'm zagging up Jalen Warren. Well, he had like the bad Seattle, and I don't know. Again, just inconsistent. So no, I don't really have anything else.
Mario against the
Well, so
But Mario was bad in the Seattle U game, then he was good in the LMU game.
yeah.
This is
Yeah,
a perfect
the
segue
Lions
because what I have here is I don't know where to put the point guards. And like, which one do I do? Because this is where covering 2 games at a time means things can change from one to the other. Because like Smith wasn't really great either one, although he was good defensively against Seattle and had a couple of important free throws down at the end. But
that little jump shot he did down the stretch,
also huge.
mid-ranger,
That was high.
driving it on
That
the
thing
right
was
side.
way high
That
up.
was a really big shot he hit.
Yeah.
His 7 points were all second half.
Well
and they were really
timed.
important.
But Mario was completely ineffective. Only 2 assists, but no points, no boards, 0 for 5 from the floor, only 15 minutes. And then against LMU, he was kind of almost inverted. He had 25 minutes. He had 13, 2 and 5. He had a steal. He was 5 of 7 from the floor, hit both his free throws. I don't know where to put the point guards.
We need more consistency from Mario for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm hoping that now that he's no longer sick, it'll help. And he's kind of come over the Spanish flu and come out of it 120 years or 105 years later, whatever it was. But
And hopefully he found someone else to warm his bed because that love lost. It's clearly weighing on him.
oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll kind of figure it out. We have seen things like this, especially with freshmen, where they start kind of well and then struggle a little bit when they kind of get into the dregs of the season. And this was the fourth game in 8 days. It does get a little tiring. So maybe he's just got to break through that wall a little bit. But
It's the WCC dog days, man.
mm. already. It was only game 3. I don't know if we could say already.
No,
but
this is the worst part. The start of the conference season is
the
always
no
the worst.
the no students doesn't help.
You know, it's like it's just they're coming off a high, playing like they're really tough and intense non-conference season, and they got to play these teams that are clearly inferior, but they're good enough that if you treat them like they're clearly inferior, they're gonna sneak up and bite you.
Cause it, yeah.
Yeah, they're not like
problems.
these aren't bye games. They're just not. Except for Pepperdine, they suck.
Give me a Galing down, Adam.
Galing down. The 3-point shooting, and I guess I don't know.
Ooh, I had that too.
Yeah, 3-point
Me
shooting was
too.
not
It's taken a downturn, hasn't
not
it?
good, but I mean the average on the season is still really good. But
So has it taken a downturn? Because, well, yes, but also the 7 games prior to this weekend, the percentages were 50, 55, 6, 37.5, 45.5, 43.5, 45.5, 44. Like
those are all
we
very
were
good.
pretty consistent over 7 games.
And then this were what
So what is the actual team
30%.
Are we closer to the 6 for 20 or
Well-
closer to
Well, look,
45%?
Steel Vendors is not going to go 0 for 5 very often. Like that is an outlier. Like that is not a thing that's going to happen.
He's 0 for his last 8. Yeah, he'll bounce
See,
back.
that means it's 0 for 3. So it's not going to happen very often.
Right. 0 for 5 is too many. If you miss, you should not take. Well, I guess in the LMU game it doesn't matter because we're smacking them. Although he was only in the game for 11 minutes.
Yeah. He didn't have a good start and didn't play
No.
again.
Yeah.
Very much. It's interesting though, right? Because I had this written down too. It's just I thought maybe it was just like a tier A thing, and it kind of is. Like we had 9 of 18 against Kentucky, but and 6 of 16 against UCLA isn't horrible. But Michigan and Bama were bad. Oklahoma pretty bad. Creighton okay. Oregon good. ASU not. Like to your point earlier, Adam, about inconsistencies. There's very few kind of meh, like 33% type games, and there's a lot of pretty high and a lot of pretty low.
Yeah. Anyway, this one, I mean, and look, if Graham could just stop taking 3-pointers, that would be fine.
That Creighton game really gave everybody a false sense of security with him, huh?
I mean, okay, if you want to take that first one, right? They're leaving you wide open at the top of the key.
The Drew Timmy 3?
The Drew Timmy, you're there, you're wide open. Okay, fine. But
Put
if
your
you
toe
miss
in the
that
water.
one, you better not take another goddamn shot from up there. If I'm the coach, and I'm not. But if I was, I'd be like, okay, you get that first one. If you make it, you can take the second one. But once you miss one, no more.
I don't agree. I think he showed last year he's almost a 40% shooter from there. Last year he's 39%. And it's got to be an organic shot that comes where he's in rhythm and he's set when he receives the ball, like after an offensive rebound or something, or or they're just giving it to him and it's right in rhythm. He doesn't have to think about it. He just shoots it. I don't know if he's a great 3-point shooter, but I think he's way better than a lot of the guys on the team. I think he's better than
I don't. You take away the 4 for 4 outlier against Creighton, and he is shooting 4 of 25 on the season.
Yeah, it's not good, but I mean, last year he was like 29 of whatever it was, 50 something. No, 60 something.
It's
I
not
don't
even.
know. I don't know what. I don't know.
Not even
Sure,
that
but
he-
he's at 16% outside of that grade. He's at 27.5% with it. Like, stop.
Yeah, I mean,
He shouldn't shoot a lot.
he's
For
too
sure, right?
efficient in the post to be taking that shot. It's not an efficient shot.
I lean agree on that.
Anyway,
He's gonna bounce back.
Braden. By
gonna
the
hit a
way,
few.
Braden is like out of this world efficient, folks. If you want to talk about it, saying it, like he is just like he just doesn't.
He had a weird game against LMU. He
Yeah,
had like all the boards, but couldn't hit a shot to save his life. Like 8 of what is his almost 20
4 of
games
9.
that he was. Yeah.
He was
which
due.
is bad for him. But I mean, I guess he only had 8 points. Yeah, we really
He
needed.
was due.
We really needed the win.
Fire him, I guess.
My sacking down, or sorry, God, I always keep doing that. My galing down is lineup stability because 2 more changes in the starting lineup. EK down against Seattle, Fogle in against LMU. which was a different starting lineup in 4 straight games, and I would assume likely going to be a 5th because I don't think we can expect Vogel to start again, but who the hell knows?
Probably not.
10 different players have started at least a game, and only Huff has started them all, which
That
is
so weird.
wild stat for a team that is somewhere between 5 and 10 in the country, depending on which metric you like or vote or method you like.
Well, just knowing few over the last 26 years.
Yeah.
Does not do that.
But to me, it's like
sticks with a starting lineup.
it tells me like it's one of those things where like if you saw San Diego doing this, you'd be like, oh yeah, they're not very good. They're trying to change things up so they can get something different. But like, how many top 10 teams rotate their starting lineups this much? And I know starting lineups are overrated, but man, it's not even a criticism. It's just I'm surprised.
It's an observation. It's crazy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anything else we want to hit on these games? Anything fun, silly, weird?
Nothing more than we talked about. Seattle U, by the way, they had a really good start against St. Mary's, but couldn't together. I think
they were ahead.
I think they could be 4th place in this conference.
They got a cruel start to their conference.
Yeah,
they were 1-3. They had to play. I mean, San Francisco's a top 4-ish team. They're not as good as people thought, but they're still pretty good. And they had to play Gonzaga and St. Mary's on the road.
Yeah, I think
that's a rare
Didn't they say it was only like the second or third time it's happened?
Then down to Moraga on the road.
Welcome.
Yeah, like it was not a kind setup for Seattle. It gets better, of course. They have a chance to really right the ship for their conference record, but
I think they will.
They play us again just in like 10 days. But aside from the Gonzaga game on the 17th, it's like they play the crap teams the next several games.
Chance in to get right.
Oh, one more thing I wanted to point out, and I pointed out against the last game we lost.
The USD game?
San Diego. Points off turnovers seems to be a problem. When this team has problems, it's because they're giving up points off turnovers. Seattle U had 17 to Gonzaga's 11.
That'll do it.
So stop. And they had 14 turnovers in that game. We had only 12, excuse me. But still, it's live ball turnovers. We gave up a bunch of those, and they were bad, and we gave up layups. Please don't do that anymore.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's a Gonzaga women thing, not a Gonzaga men thing.
Right.
Oh, yeah, about that.
Across the halfway line, and that 3-pointer makes Allie Turner the all-time single-season record agent.
The women had a mixed bag, another close loss that followed a romp of a win. They played Seattle U. We knew that was going to be an easy one. They jumped out to a 28-9 lead, and it was never close. They won by 26 in the game. So we don't need to spend too much time on that one. Lauren Whitaker had a double-double, and Allie Turner was hot from deep. The Santa Clara game, different bag of apples. The highest-rated net team in the conference, and they beat Gonzaga. It was close. Gonzaga had a chance.
Good.
But it's like every time they play one of these games where the team is pretty good and it's close, this is kind of going back multiple years, isn't it? They don't play well in big moments down the stretch. It's so rarely the case where they're like, oh, I mean, sometimes there's a couple games you can go back and say, oh, it was a big moment. They delivered. But there's like the turnovers are again an issue. They turned it over 20 times against Santa Clara. It's just a killer when you keep turning the ball over.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And they missed key free throws. There was an and one opportunity for Lauren Whitaker at the end of the Santa Clara game. She clanked the free throw.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been a nice. I mean,
that possession at the end where they had 3 layups.
Oh my God!
That they just choked away, just crapped away,
It was frustrating.
Brutal.
I don't watch a lot of the women's games, but I did watch the end of this one. I was like, oh, look, it's a close game on my phone. I was like, I'm going to turn it on. And I did. And I was like, oh, we got a real chance. And then, they just, so many frustrating errors. Like I don't know. It's tough. Tough loss for the ladies.
Yeah, it's the same old story. They don't have a consistent third scorer, and they don't protect the ball. It's just like every single game is how many turnovers are they going to commit this time? They committed 16 against Seattle, which is better for them. But when you're playing one of the worst teams in the country, that's actually like, how do you turn it over 16 times against a team as bad as Seattle? And then back up to 20 against Santa Clara. So it's just kind of, it's not like they had to have that game or anything. They're a team that needs to win the conference tournament to get to the tournament. And that's been evident for the entire season. So you just got to get things together and be playing well and by March. So on that subject, they play just like the men. They played a lot in the beginning of the schedule, and then they have a one game over the next like 8-9 days. They play Portland, who is not the same Portland that they have been for the last few years. They're 3-1 in conference, but they're only 9-7 overall. They have the turnover bug even worse than Gonzaga. Gonzaga women average about 18.3 or so per game. Well, Portland averages 19.4 per game. They turn it over crazy amounts. What they are good at is steals. They are 34th in the country in steals per game, which is perfect for Gonzaga. So look out for a lot of turnovers from the ladies.
It's going to be a 2-on-1 fast break where the one picks it off, and then they do a 4-on-3 fast break where the 3 picks it off, and then there's going to be a 3-on-2.
There's going to be a lot of turnovers. Portland commits a lot of turnovers. They also steal the ball at a really high rate. They're 35th in the nation in bench points. They're a really deep team. They don't have any like ball dominant players who score a ton. They have their leading scorer is Diani Ananiev, who scores 11 a game, and they have a lot of women who score between like 4 and 8 points a game. So they have a really deep bench. They are 35th in the nation in bench scoring. So not a game you'd expect Gonzaga to drop. Since it's at home, but when you turn the ball over as much as we do, they could drop any game. So we will see what happens. That's what's next on the docket.
Well, from the women losing a close one to Santa Clara to the men taking on Santa Clara, hopefully not replicating that. Lots of things to run through here at Santa Clara. Just the one game, of course. This is coming up on Thursday. We are recording Tuesday. Hopefully you'll hear this on Wednesday, or certainly if you have the time, or if not, before the game Thursday, because it's the only game we're going to talk about. So let's talk about Santa Clara. We'll jump right into a bunch of things, including the patented tale of the tape.
Here we go. The Gonzaga Bulldogs, coached by Mark Few, ranked 5th in KenPom and 4th in the net, scoring 91.6 points per game, 15th in the country.
It's bad. The Broncos, Santa Clara University, coached by Herbie Sendek. Herbie. 5, net 62. They're scoring 82.5 points per game, which is pretty good. 96th in the country.
The Tempos, Gonzaga 71.1 possessions. That's 57th.
SCU slowing it down. Pretty average, though. 70.4 possessions per game, 85th.
2-point shooting, Gonzaga's at 59.2% for 30th in the country.
It's pretty good. Not too far behind. The Broncos looking at 58.1, 40th in the nation.
3-point percentage, Gonzaga's dropped to 36.9, 47th in the country.
Top 50, though. Santa Clara, the Fighting Sendeks, coming in at 198th in the country in this. That's 33.2% from beyond the arc.
Not used to seeing that from Santa Clara teams. Mm-hmm. From the charity stripe, Gonzaga shoots at 69.9%, which is 247th in the country.
Oh, that's bad. Wow. One of the few tales here where Santa Clara is ahead of us. They're 71.4%, 193rd, which isn't anything to write home about, but better than Gonzaga.
Every 100 possessions of basketball, Gonzaga scores 125.6 points, which is 6th best in the country for offensive efficiency.
Herb's got these guys going 118.4 points per 100 possessions. That's top 50 in the country, 49th.
On the defensive side, Gonzaga gives up 94.5 every 100, and that's 12th best.
Well, that's awfully good and much better than 104.3 for 90th in the country, which is where Santa Clara is.
Gonzaga's turnovers are 10.4%, 14.1, sorry, I flipped that. 10.4 per game, which is 14%, 22nd in the country.
One of those fun percentage ones. Santa Clara only turns it over at 12.1, but they play such a slower tempo that's fully 17.5% of their possessions, 196 in the country in turnover percentage.
And then Gonzaga's offensive rebounding, 36.5%. This is respectable, 45th best in the country.
And here's where the Broncos really shine, folks. Their offensive rebounding percentage is 40.6, which is top 5, is 5th in the country. This country of ours. They get after that ball. They get that basketball.
Rebound that basketball.
Yeah.
Get that ball.
They do.
I really think you should just start doing the cheers during the games now, Mart.
Rebound the basketball.
More
Alan
energy.
Graves. Alan Graves is the fella that will get on that basketball and get the ball. He's a really good rebounder. He's a freshman too, I think.
Is he?
Yeah,
you're
he's a
right.
freshman.
Yeah, 6'9" freshman.
He's a nice, able-bodied freshman.
So it's interesting. Santa Clara to me sort of looks a little bit like when kind of early Ken Palm, when we would have really high up Ken Palm numbers, and 55 is not super high up, but they don't have a good win, really. I mean, they have they have a couple of decent wins. They have a couple home wins. McNeese top 71, Nevada 70. This is Ken Palm ranking, and then
he's pretty good.
neutral floor Minnesota 91st, but they lost by 1 to St. Louis. That would have been a good win. St. Louis is 39th. They lost by a lot to New Mexico in Albuquerque. They lost by 3 to Arizona State, and then a 2-point loss to Loyola Chicago, which is 275th in the nation. That's not good. So they're mostly respectable.
Ugly.
You don't like getting blown out by 29 or whatever it was, 27 against New Mexico, but at least it is on the road against a top 50 or close to top 50 team. But their overall metrics seem to be better than what their wins have been so far. So where can they hurt us? What are they going to do other than that offensive rebounding? Is that going to be the big thing?
I think that's the big thing. That and defensive. There's a guy, he doesn't start. So Alan Graves, as previously mentioned, is 6'9" freshman.
He's a good defender and a good rebounder.
He's a good defender, but they also have a guy who comes in and plays almost half the time in the 5 spot, Bucky Oboye, who's a sophomore. He's 7'1". His blocking percentages are fantastic. 10%. Yeah, he blocks a ton of shots. He's got his true shooting percentage is 73%.
That seems good.
It's very good, and he's going to be a load. He's 34th in the country in block percentage. That's really high. And again, here's another 7-foot guy who's going to be, who's going to be matching up with Ike.
He's a big guy who won't get outside much. He's only taken 9 threes, but he's 56 of 72 from inside the arc. That is 78%.
Wow.
8th in the country. So that guy he's efficient. Adam's right about that. He's efficient.
They have a number of fairly efficient players. They have Elijah Mahi, is 117 offensive rating. Alan Graves, we mentioned, 124 because he gets a lot of putbacks, excuse me. Aboye, almost 130, 129.9 per 100. So they're fairly efficient, and we haven't even gotten to the creature yet.
That's not.
Activate creature report. Creature report. Creature report.
Oh, a new face. I mean, not really. He's been with Santa Clara, but he wasn't a big part of their team last year. He redshirted last year, but his name is Christian Hammond, 6'4" guard out of Denver, Colorado. 17 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists. Shooting a nice, healthy 41 to 42% from deep. And so that is an offensive threat. He redshirted last year, like I said. He was a freshman with Santa Clara in the 23-24 year, but he didn't play much. He scored a couple points a game, one of those deep bench players. He has scored in double figures every game this year, but 2, and he has scored 20 or more 7 times. His effective field goal percentage is 58%. So he's a good shooter.
Yeah, he's quite good. Plays a lot of points, takes a lot of shots. It's like 72% of their possessions when he's on the floor.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Sorry, 72%?
Sorry, he plays 72% of the minutes. Sorry.
I
Wrong.
was going to say, if he's taking 72% of the possessions,
Wrong number. He's taking 23. 23%.
redefine the chucker.
Anyway, yeah, 6'4", 195.
He's had
The kid can flat out shoot the basketball.
He's had a slow start to conference play, not scoring wise, but from jump shooting. He hasn't shot well from 3 in the first 4 games. They're 4-0. They haven't lost yet. They haven't played anybody yet. They've had a really easy 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't shot it great from outside. So let's hope he continues that and doesn't like go off for 4 or 5 or 6 threes.
You'd like to think
that would make things more difficult.
You go ahead, Adam.
No, you go.
You'd like to think that they, meaning the Bulldogs, would, with a couple extra days rest and some time to sort of recuperate, and this being the only game on the schedule this week, maybe can figure out a way to start a little quicker. Maybe
one would
perhaps.
Hope. Are students going to be back? That would help. It's a minute life in the building.
They should be. I believe school started again here as of today, on Tuesday. That will help certainly get the energy in. And what's your best guess, Adam, at a starting lineup?
I think we're gonna go back to the. I think it's. I mean, I don't know. I think it's Huff, Ike and Huff for sure. I think Smith still has it. I don't think Mario is taking it from him.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's gonna be. I think he might give Ace a start.
And
Steele.
No, Steele's not gonna start.
You don't think so?
I bet you Ty and Grant Foster is back in the starting lineup.
But at the 3?
Yeah.
Ike and Huff?
Why not?
I don't know.
The question to me is whether Innocente has lost the starting role didn't start because of illness, which is kind of what it was reported, or if he actually lost the starting role.
Complete black hole offensively. That might be the reason he's not starting.
Yeah, he's at
black hole. To me, black hole means he's like the ball goes to him and it doesn't come back. Like he's just a nothing kind of off.
He does not score ever. He hasn't hit He's hit like 1 for his last 15 from 3. The guy's in a huge funk.
He did hit a nice floater against, I think, LMU.
He had one. He had like
Innocente left a floater.
He's 0 for 3 from the line this year, which I saw earlier and I thought was interesting. He hasn't made a free throw this year. Anyway, yeah, I think you're right, Adam. I think Smith starts. EK Huff, obviously. I kind of think it's going to be Innocente and Tyon Grant Foster, but my concern with that is there's kind of no scoring from the wings, and I don't think they like that lineup. So I think you might see Miller start. I kind of wonder if like Miller and TGF have to play together, or Innocente and maybe Steele play together, so that they can kind of even out some of the weaknesses or imbalances there. Because if you're Santa Clara and you see Innocente and TGF starting, like you're just completely collapsing on Ike and Huff every time they come close to touching the ball. So I'm not sure that's going to be an ideal setup. But who knows?
Who knows? He's gonna throw some guys out there, see what's working, see what's cooking, and then they'll hopefully they'll figure that out sooner rather than later, and we don't get in such a big hole, because the Santa Clara team is good. I mean, they're a good, solid basketball team. They're 55. Like this is a.
And if they want a at-large consideration, they absolutely have to beat Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Oh, I think so. They're 5th in net. That's a pretty solid net. And if they 55th KenPom, 62 in net. If they get the wins and then don't lose any bad games, they beat St. Mary's and Gonzaga. I think they could make an argument for an at-large.
Yeah,
they're not that far off the bubble, and they have beaten Gonzaga once each year for 2 years. We were almost a year away. We're almost a year removed from that 103-99 loss last year in the count. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Do you remember how many 3-pointers Santa Clara made in that game?
I looked
If
it
you
up
do, if you
before.
Adam, have you looked it up?
No, I
If
have
not,
not
guess.
looked it up. Was it like 17?
You're pretty close. It was 18. 18 of 38
It's a lot.
from 3. And our friend Caleb Battle scored 0 points in 20 minutes.
That was
That-
in Battle's downturn for
That might have been.
Uh,
That was one of the most. Well, we talked about it then. It's got to be one of the worst games I ever played.
That was like January 15th of last year. So we were almost a year away. We can't, that has certainly got to be a memory that the boys, the lads, at least the ones who were here, Braden Smith, Braden Huff,
Graham.
EK, Steel Venters, the guys who witnessed it are like, we can't, that's not going to happen again. So I think that's
Remember
a good
Ty
thing.
Ryan having 30.
Oh,
And then in the repeat game down in Santa Clara, we kicked their ass. But in the first like 10 minutes of that game, they couldn't miss again. They were like up by 15 points, and Brian couldn't miss again. It was like they just carried it right on into the next game. I was like, are you kidding me?
well,
Anyway,
I don't expect that, but I
No.
but I do. Look, Gonzaga's going to have to play.
it's a different. They're a different team.
Yeah.
This isn't the same team. They lost 6 out of the 7 top scorers of that
wow.
team. Mahi is back, and he was the only other top scorer they had. But they were like last year top 10 in the country in 3-pointers made per game. And this year they're not a great 3-point shooting team, 32% or something.
No.
Mhm.
They're a great rebounding team, and they get a lot of steals. So that there's the keys: rebound the ball and don't turn it over.
Yeah.
If you do those 2 things, we'll be totally fine.
Absolutely.
Totally fine.
We'll probably be totally fine anyway, but that if they're going to hurt us, that's where they hurt us.
I don't know. Santa Clara is pretty good.
But at home, if we're feeling better, hopefully just everybody's freaking healthy.
Yeah,
Get everybody
that would be
feeling
nice.
good.
I don't know if we're a 15-point favorite like Ken Palm suggests. I don't know. I kind of feel like a 10. I think like this is a 10-point game.
Mm.
But
Come
Well,
on.
I guess we know
I'm
where you're
very
gonna,
excited to see it.
where you're going to go betting. If you
Yeah.
could, theoretically, if you could bet
all
on
my
college basketball.
mortgage on Broncos. I told you, call me Bronco.
I don't know what that's from, and I'm a little
From-
uncomfortable.
I'm gonna
Groundhog Day.
challenge. I think we need to do a name pronunciation challenge on a couple of these guys on the Santa Clara team. You ready?
All right, hit me.
Okay. So Chris, their 6'3" guard. His first name is Sash. Pronounce his last name.
Gavalyagov.
What?
Gavalyagov.
Gavalyagov? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't even get a chance to look at it, but sure.
I've read the name. It's Gavalyagov.
Okay. Okay, Chris, how about their nearly invisible number 3, Francis?
Well, I assumed Marty was going to jump in.
Chukwudabelu.
Chukwudabelu. No, Chukwudabelu. Chukwudabelu. Chukwudabelu.
Yeah,
Can't
there you
wait
go.
to hear Greg Heiser say that. And actually,
So Gavalyagov is a transfer from Villanova. He gets high usage when he's on the floor, so you'll see him a lot. Now the other dude is going to play a lot less.
Francis.
Yeah,
Anyways,
he's a big fella.
speaking of Heister, we had some. We got a moment from the last LMU game. Before, are we ready to move on from this game? Sorry, Chris, I'm jumping in on you.
Yeah, I think we're probably good. We'll jump into some memories here in a second, but if we want to throw in Heister,
Let's throw in the
let's
Heister
get a
because
spot if
we
can.
love.
It's
We gotta love
It's
having.
going to be a little
Heister
bit
on.
of a longer one.
Yeah, here we go.
Hey, it was an amazing pass, but I just know when you throw it to the rim and you get a dunk, it's a whole different reaction.
It is, but
One's like, oh my word. The other one's like,
well, but that's the difference in a
Different.
point guard. You know who you're throwing it to. I'm sure St. Superi would have thrown the lob to Foster, but I don't know if Miller's got that in his repertoire, being able to finish over the rim like that.
was that a Will Foster reference? I don't think he knows who Will Foster is. Will's
Silence.
the guy. He
7'3",
was the guy.
7'4".
You're throwing that to the rim to him.
Yeah, but not to Adam Miller.
And follow me, buddy.
I'm
Follow
just
me.
letting you go.
I know it's been a long, long weekend.
He's not been with us in a while. I think he's
He's not. He's a little slow. Have you noticed? that?
Look, triple overtime game last night. Boise State and San Diego State. One of the best college games I've been able to call.
Well, you missed the best one ever Friday night. Jeez, thanks for being here.
I watched you guys. I thought Richard was spectacular. You, not so much.
My mom said the same thing.
He did? You wouldn't like me either?
She just, every game.
Come on, Mama Fox.
Come on, Fox.
They went a lot of places on it. I'm just it was good having Dan back.
We needed that because it's going to sustain us because we're not going to get any Fox and Heister and Dickow against Santa Clara because I think it's the ESPN2
I
broadcast.
haven't been on that in a while.
I think we get, I don't know who we get, but we get an ESPN crew.
As long as we don't get any more Peacock games, those productions
Ooh, that
suck
was pretty
ass.
brutal.
They're bad.
That was pretty brutal.
They are bad. They should feel
Yeah.
bad.
Well, yeah. Then it looks like the next Heister.
What did you guys think of the
opportunity-
Pepperdine? The Pepperdine broadcast was so awesome. Did anybody watch it?
Wait,
Yeah,
our game against
from
Pepperdine.
3 games ago. Yeah,
Yeah, our game
I was
against
in the
Pepperdine.
building, so I did not watch the broadcast.
You were in the building, but because like you could get if you watched it on ESPN Plus, you got the Pepperdine broadcast with their old. It looked like a Ron
And if
Burgundy
you watched it at a Spokane,
type
you
dude.
did.
Oh my god, he was great. He was so bad.
But bad
Anyway.
It was an interesting broadcast to say the least. So we've had some hit or misses, but this is why we are thankful for Dan, Richard, and Fox. When they're all together. Dan, jeez.
Jeez, calling
God.
other games.
Our shenanigans are
Let's-
cheeky and fun. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks? You mean shenanigans? Talking about shenanigans, right?
Says I can mute during recording, but I can't switch mics, which is well.
That's
How'd that
super-
happen?
I don't know. There's a new recording track somewhere.
Yeah, I know. It gave you that alert. That's how I knew. And I could hear you. That's okay. Go ahead.
I mean,
We'll fix we can do a lot of work in post. It'll be okay. But don't
all right.
feel like you have to talk into that mic anymore. It's probably blocking your voice now.
I wonder why that happened. That's weird.
We had it's been super windy down here, and I think we probably had like a little surge or something, and it glitched.
Okay. It sounds like a Marty thing to happen. So, all right, go.
It's plugged in. I don't know what to tell you.
Talk us in.
Shenanigans indeed. I'd like to, or well, I'm gonna tark us in again. Turk us in? I can't even say that. Fucking Christ. I need to go to bed. So we've been doing what we like to wrap up the WCC, our last time within the WCC, with a bit of a kind of trip down memory lane for certain things. So we're going to do that for our shenanigans today. So we're going to do some memories for Santa Clara, some players we liked, disliked, just kind of just a memory chat, just a little trip about Santa Clara that we know and love. So Amard, why don't you start us off? What's kind of your first memory here? What's your first thing that tickles your fancy?
I will miss them. So what I do for these is I just look at past scores and I think until I see one that's like and if one like triggers something, some kind of memory, I dig deeper. And so I found the only time we beat, I think it was the only time we beat Santa Clara in the WCC championship game. And this happened March 5th, 2001.
Wow.
At the Jenny Craig Pavilion.
Slim Jim.
And yep, Gonzaga almost didn't make that in the semifinal. They were down 14 to USD on their home floor. And we came back to win that game to make the final against Santa Clara, who would they have upset in the semifinal? You probably know
2001.
2001. Pepperdine. Yeah. They upset Pepperdine. Anyway, so by the way, that year tells you how long ago this was. St. Mary's 0-14 in the conference.
Oh my.
2-27 that year. One of their wins was a D2 school, so for KenPom purposes, they were 1-27.
Whoa. Wow.
That was the last year before they hired Randy Bennett. Anyways, this is how long ago this was. This is how long ago this was. Gonzaga's starting five was Gord, Spink, Cavalry, Dickow, and Stepp. So you might remember the Santa Clara name of Kyle Bailey, who was a good player for several years for them.
Yeah.
You
Point
probably
guard.
definitely remember Brian Jones, he's the one I remember, especially his face. He had really short, he had really like buzzed hair, and he had kind of a squarish face, good shooter, but I remember him well. In this game, I luckily found the entire game on YouTube, which is always fun. Nice. I love it when I can do that. I love it. I watched the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Which is so fun. The play-by-play guy for ESPN was great because he would just like call out crappy shots when they missed him. He'd be like, that was a horrible shot. Stuff like that. Anyway, but we got off to, or Santa Clara got off to a torrid start in this game. Brian Jones, the aforementioned, scored 9 points in the first 3.5 minutes in this game. Santa Clara hit their first 7 shots, 8 of their first 10 shots. They were beating Gonzaga 23-12 at the 14-minute mark. They were torching the net. They had 15 threes in the game. Anyway, Step brought us back with 3 straight bombs at the end of the first half. We took a halftime lead, actually. And then in the early second half, we built a 13-point lead behind Dickau's shooting. But then just when you thought we were going to run away with it, Santa Clara caught back up, and they tied it like with 10 minutes, like at 12 minutes to go. The game was tied at 48. We got back up by a little bit. Teams were exchanging threes. It was exciting. It was a fun game. We were about 5 points up for a while. And then we started missing free throws, including Dan Dickau, who missed the front end of a 101. He missed another. Wow. He missed another one. Like, he missed like 3 free throws in this game. Dan, who probably shot 90% that year, he missed like 3 free throws in this game. Santa Clara cuts it to 3 with 38 seconds left. They foul Dan. He goes 1 of 2 from the line. And then Santa Clara hits another 3 to make it 78-77 with 24 seconds left. Their 10th 3, which is a record for them. Then Dickau hits both free throws because they fouled him again. We got it to Dan, and he hit both free throws that time to make it 80-77. But that means they have the ball with a chance to tie. Few gives a couple fouls with 14 seconds left, and he gives another foul with 3 seconds left because we had fouls to give. And then Santa Clara couldn't find any of their shooters. Bailey had hit a few that game. Jones had hit several that game, but they couldn't find him. Gonzaga did a nice job defending him. They ended up getting a lame 3-point attempt from one of their big guys, Holmes, who hadn't even attempted a 3. So he wasn't even close. He airballed it. And Gonzaga won. But it was really an exciting game. Santa Clara almost beat Gonzaga, but we prevailed, made the tournament in 2001. There you go. Ooh. We ended up making the Sweet 16 that year.
Genuinely don't remember that game.
No?
Yeah.
We definitely watched it.
That was during
our time.
Yeah, that was our time. Yeah, that was our
you
time.
You can find it on YouTube. I bet you if you find it on YouTube, you could watch it. You'd be like, you must have watched it. How could you not have watched it?
Yeah, I must
Maybe
have.
you were there. Did you go to the
I didn't go. No, I didn't go. No, I was working. I was assuming I was working. Adam, what's a memory you have for Santa Clara?
Oh, there's only one. There's only one.
I know it.
Great memory. You guys all know this. I've talked about this game before. This game took place on March 8th, 2014, 6 p.m. One of the first years at the when they moved the conference tournament to not that first year. Sorry, it's not that. Never mind. That goes back a lot further than I thought. Anyway, at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Spokane South.
That's right. This was a quarterfinal game against Santa Clara. Ooh. Quarterfinals. So
remember when we used to play those?
Yeah, weird. But yeah, so Gonzaga, this is another really solid Gonzaga team. We got Shema Karnowski, we got Kevin Pangos, we got Gary Bell Jr., Sam Dower. There's some great Zags on here, especially, might I add, starting point guard David Stockton, who was the starting point guard on this team.
What? Why was he the starting point guard?
Defying all logic. Anyway, he had 4 assists
in his 26% 3-point shooting.
Yeah, not great at 3-point shooting, but David Stockton could play, man. Don't mess. Anyway,
I poke.
You poke. This game was a lot closer than anyone expected. Santa Clara hung in this game and hung in, and actually had a 37-31 lead at the halftime or at the half. Shema Karnowski, there was turnover problems, a lot of turnovers. Yeah, Coleman turning it over. Just turnover after turnover, letting Santa Clara hang around. And then they take a 37-31 lead, and everyone is terrified. Like, Gonzaga is going to get eliminated, not in a title game. Gonzaga hadn't not played in the title game since, let's see, we knew about the school.
97?
97 was the last time Gonzaga did not play in the WCC title game.
That's just a stupid
1997.
statistic. It's a stupid statistic. It's
Anybody
still
can
going.
do it, guys. Anybody
can do it. It's still going, and
it's still going. That streak is still going,
and I don't expect it to end this year. Anyway, so it's wild. Like so they maintain. We hang around. We start to bring it back in the middle of the second half, but we are behind the whole time. We don't have a lead. Where's our lead? I'm looking at the thing. No lead. No lead. No lead. We did not lead in this game until, with 4:33 left, David Stockton makes a layup to make it 64-63. Then we kind of go cold, a few more turnovers, and then with 5 minutes left, about a minute left. Let's jump ahead. I'm getting a little long in the tooth. With about a minute left, okay, Gonzaga goes on a kind of a dry spell for 30 seconds. Evan Roquemore makes a free throw, a couple of timeouts, another free throw. We take the lead, and then they tie it up with 10 seconds left. Santa Clara calls a timeout. One of the craziest plays that I've ever seen, where inbound the ball, Stockton looks lost. He's like completely lost. And the play was to someone else, and he gets the ball back, and he just made like the most ridiculous step through layup that I've ever seen anyone. And they were like twirling
back to the basket.
Two guys swinging. I'm a small guy who plays basketball, and it was like one of those things where like you can't believe that the ball the ridiculous, stupid scoop shot that you put up made it through like three hands that were swatting at it that should have got through. And
especially since he went left and shot it with his right hand. He laid it in with his right hand, and he went to the left.
Yeah. And he stepped through
instead of putting it with his left hand.
And then so he made the bucket. They win. They move on to win. They win the title that year, of course. But my favorite part is when Kerry Keating came on this show and talked about that game.
Right.
And he was mad. He was so mad. It made me feel so good. So that game is my memory of Santa Clara and Kerry Keating coming on this show and being a good sport, frankly. And he's been on the show a couple of times. Who was the coach of the Clara. So that's long enough ago that many people probably have no idea who I'm talking about. But he was the head coach of the Broncos at that time. And he came on the show and was like, fucking David Stockton. I cannot believe that he did that to us. I cannot believe that he made that shot. And he thought he traveled too. He thought he traveled too, right? I think he did. He's pretty convinced that David traveled. But that's my.
I don't think he traveled.
That's my Santa Clara memory. But that's Santa Clara too. Jared Brownridge, good player.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember him?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, some good players and fun team.
How about you, CB?
Mine is little bit different. I did think of both the Stockton and 2 months earlier in Santa Clara, Sam Dower hitting that three to win the game with a second and a half left or 2 seconds left, whatever it was. I didn't realize those two games were 2 months apart, which makes it way funnier. But what I remember connected to Santa Clara is sort of a bizarre story. Way back when, I assume you can still do this, I don't know. But way back when we were at Gonzaga, not to sound too old, as I'm stroking my gray beard, we used to play pickup ball at the field house. And a lot of times, stragglers would come in that weren't Gonzaga students, and it was just random older guys from the Gonzaga or the Logan neighborhood and the kind of the Spokane community. And then eventually, former players would start to hang around, and sometimes even current players off season. And then there was this one kid who would randomly show up, and I remember looking around and going, there is no way this kid is in college. There's no chance. He must be like 5'8" and 110 pounds, and I'm so confused. He must be somebody's kid that's here. And he turned out he was the point guard for Shadle Park. And his name was Danny Paraso, and the only reason I know that is because he went on to play 3 years at Eastern before transferring to Santa Clara. And he came back and he played in the kennel, which I'm sure he went to all the time growing up as a kid in Spokane. And I just remember playing, and he was perfectly fine. Like he was very quiet, but he was listed in Ken Palm is 5'11", 160. And if he was 160 at Santa Clara, he put on 20, 30 pounds from when we, would make sense 4 or 5 years before or later. But he was a small kid. He was a perfectly good player. And I don't remember being overwhelmed one way or the other. I'm a terrible player, so everybody looks good when I'm watching them. But he was just a nice, quiet guy who would come and run and shut up, Adam. I don't know what you said, but shut up. And then Yeah, and then all of a sudden he's like playing in the kennel for Santa Clara, and I just thought it was kind of that's my kind of favorite memory of Santa Clara as we kind of run through our different memories. But Marty, you also wanted to talk about some players as we kind of went along from Santa Clara.
Yeah, I had a game memory. If I think about a player, I don't know why this is the first, because they've got Jalen Williams and they got guys in the NBA. Pods. And Brownridge was a great shooter. They got a lot of
Brownridge was really good
recently. The last 10 years, they've had a lot. But the guy I always think about is John Bryant.
That's exactly who I thought of too. 100%.
Yeah,
that mountain of a human.
Yes, he was huge. He was huge, and he wasn't even that great against Gonzaga. Like I looked it up. He played 10 games against Gonzaga. Take out the ones his freshman year. But the non-freshman year ones, after he had been a starter, he averaged 13 points, 9 rebounds against Gonzaga, 2 blocks.
Which is good.
It's quite good. But his senior year, I forgot how much of a rebounder he was. He's 7th all-time. 7th all-time in WCC rebounding is John Bryant. Wow. He was first in the country in defensive rebounding rate his senior year, and he was third his junior year. He was second in the country in offensive rebounding rate his senior year.
So a monster on the board.
His senior year, he was first in defensive rebounding, second in offensive rebounding. He got 14.2 rebounds a game in his senior year. The guy just always grabbed the miss. He was always rebounding the ball. He was phenomenal at rebounding. 37th in true shooting percentage his senior year. So he wasn't just rebounds. He could shoot. 37th in true shooting percentage. 18 points, 14 rebounds, 2.5 blocks his senior year. That's pretty awesome line. He never came close to those numbers when playing Gonzaga, and he was 0-10 in his career against Gonzaga, and none of the games were that close. There was one double OT game, and it was the only game he scored more than 20 points against Gonzaga. It was 22 point, 12 rebound, 4 block effort in a double overtime loss. And other than that, he was close to his, he'd always score 10 to 12 and get 7 to 9 rebounds. But I always think of John Bryant because I think he might have won Player of the Year senior. He had to with that stat line.
Big old man.
18 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks.
How about when Steve Nash? He wasn't there when we played.
He wasn't there when we were liking Gonzaga.
I don't have any memory of him.
Yeah.
Mid-90s.
I guess I know of him, but I don't have a memory of him.
Well, everyone remembers him nationally for beating, as the 15 seed, who they beat, Arizona?
Arizona.
As the second 15 to ever beat a 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the first, I don't know who the first was, but they beat Syracuse. I know Syracuse was the first 2 to ever lose. I don't remember who beat them, but I think, pretty sure Santa Clara was the second to do it, and that was the Steve Nash team.
Yeah. Did you guys know that Kurt Rambis went to Santa Clara?
Yeah, I did know that, actually.
I would not have gotten there.
I learned that today.
It occurs to me, our friend Kerry Keating loved an undersized scorer between Brownridge and, remember, KJ Fagan? And, who else did he have? Did he recruit Taj 80? He might have. Remember Brandon Clark?
Yeah.
The shitty Brandon Clark? Did I say she compared to our Brandon Clark?
Right.
So he was there. There was a guy that I remember when I started looking through the names named Nate Cratch. And the only reason I remember him is because his dad played offensive line for the Giants. His dad was Bob Cratch. And so I remember looking, I was like, he kind of looks like he's a big, old, like 6'6", 230 pound. I think he was a ginger. And I think he kind of stood out. But it was, sure enough, for some of the former Giants linemen. And then I can't believe, Adam, I can't believe you didn't bring this up, Adam.
Oh, what?
One of the favorite names that we've ever said on this show. Guglielmo Caruso.
Guglielmo Caruso?
I'm disappointed you didn't bring him up.
Oh.
Adam's favorite name ever was Frankie Ferrari, but that's
what I'm saying.
Frankie Ferrari.
I know, but it's...
Okay. We're talking about San Francisco, Frankie Ferrari.
When we talk about the San Francisco Marys,
But Guglielmo was his first name, so...
Guglielmo.
Excuse me, Guglielmo. But
that's
that was a good Italian one. What else you got, Mard?
Well, that's all I got. I mean, I was going to go long on both those memories, so I didn't want to do any further memories.
Real quick. You guys remember when they took out that ad? In Santa Clara, take out an ad in the newspaper?
Goodness, yeah.
It was like...
When they were they announced the new training center.
And they were like, it was like a direct, it's on Gonzaga.
Yeah, because it was like real soon after Few like got real mad at the league.
That's right.
And kind of threatened to leave because they weren't putting money into the basketball teams.
Yes, and they were like, they said some big ad like, "Oh, it's gonna be new," and like, sorry.
To their credit, they're putting guys in the league.
Yeah,
and they are pretty good, and they have just not made the tournament, but they have teams that can
has
beat
taken a
tournament
little
teams.
while.
But
It has taken a
when
bit.
Gonzaga's out of the league, like I think they're going to make some tournaments. Yeah,
Well, it might just end up being a one big.
that'll be interesting to see. We'll talk about that more at the end of the season, I suppose.
Man, remember Keyshawn Justice from a couple years ago?
Remember
Christoph Tilly?
That guy was a shooter.
The other Tilly,
the crappy Tilly, the imposter Tilly, Adama Ball was drafted.
Oh yeah,
in the
Ball was
NBA.
good.
Do you remember Cage? Was it Fagan and who was the tall dude? Vrancic.
Yeah, that teams.
I did a Creature Report full song parody to Josip Vrancic. Remember that was when I actually did I changed the lyrics. Josip Vrancic.
Wow. Memories. That was a fun trip.
Pull that up. We could have played that for a memory.
Yeah.
Next time. We'll do it next time.
I got
then he's going to do it for
12
us.
years of audio here that I can go through.
Thank you. Marty's got that all set up alphabetically. You know that.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone for downloading and listening. If you'd like to contribute to the show, we're at patreon.com/FreeAraBrown. We really do appreciate it. It really does help. We're on Twitter and Blue Sky at FreeAraBrown and Instagram, YouTube at FreeAraBrown.
Kevin Foster. He's a good shooter.
Kevin Foster. That's a good pull. We will be back next week. That's it. Next week. It's the only game. After Gonzaga 100, Santa Clara 62. Thank you, everybody.
Fellas, she can't get. Must see fellas that she ain't met. Georgia claimed her. Georgia named her Sweet Georgia. They call her Sweet Miss Georgia Brown.
Go Zags.
Go Zags.